G'day. Today I'm just going to show you how to use Site Manager to create a site on your Handshake domain. Okay, so first things first is we need to create the node VPS. If you already had a different VPS provider, then that's fine. You just need something that has port 80 and 443 open. So I'll use Linode. In case you're wondering, you can get a free month using l.woodburn.au/linode. Okay, just log in. Let's create a Linode. Easiest and best to use is Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, or the newest LTS, biggest number there. LTS for long, I can't remember what LTS stands for. Basically, long support, long-term support, maybe something, who knows. Site Manager. I've set a 1 GB smallest, cheapest server, which is usually fine unless you're planning on having a lot of traffic. Set a testing server, add your SSH keys or password, and that should be all good. Let's go create Linode. Okay, so we'll grab this IP, and now would be the perfect time for a coffee break, but I didn't bring my coffee. Oh well. So let's just open Terminus. If you have a different SSH client, then that's all good. So paste in that IP, Site Manager. I've already saved my SSH key, but you would put in your SSH key. While you're waiting, I might get myself a domain. So if you already have a TLD or SLD, then that's all fine. In this case, I'm going to use actually, I might use a domain on Namebase to make it a bit easier for you. How about this one, testbotbid01. Make sure it's got DNSSEC enabled. When you enable it or disable it, you will need to press save. Okay, you need to press save to be able to save the DNSSEC stuff on chain. So now I've got my domain, testbotbids1. That should be ready. Let me just boot into it. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to go to l.woodburn.au/site manager, or you can go to this GitHub repo. First step is to grab the install script. Boom, super easy to use. chmod x and install. That basically just says I'm allowed to execute this script. Run sudo install.sh. You need to run sudo because it will install Nginx and a couple other programs. Okay, that's going to take a little sec. While this is doing the install, you should go to Tailscale, or if you have a different VPN, then that'll work also. So I'm using Tailscale. So go Tailscale. Lots and lots of VMs. Okay. You will want to put access controls if you have important things on your Tailscale network. I should actually put more controls on mine. You'll want to copy this command here. Yeah, who cares? That's fine. We're running it as root, and this is for a dedicated server just for web traffic, so that's all good. Warning, because still downloading. I think it's downloading certbot for ICANN domains, because this works for ICANN domains as well. Installed. Okay, let's install Tailscale now. Shouldn't take a sec. So once we install Tailscale, we will set the firewall to only allow us into the server. Only allow the Tailscale IP. So Tailscale up, and let me just sign into that. Yep. Authorize. And we'll just check on my personal one. Okay. I have to make sure to delete that afterwards. So now that's done, let's go to our firewalls. I've created a firewall that only allows port 80 and 443. All other ports are dropped. I'm not sure, depends on what VPS provider, it could be slightly different. Let's add Site Manager to this. I think you'll find that my SSH will probably die. So let's convert that to my Tailscale IP, which I didn't actually copy, did I? Oh, it puts it as localhost. I know it is a little bit funny that way. Come on. I've got Tailscale connected, haven't I? Let me just double check that. Yeah. And there we go, it's just being slow. Okay, so what we do now is, well, we already know our Tailscale IP, so don't worry about that then. But you'll grab your Tailscale IP, port 5000. Okay, so we need to create a user. Let's do that. So go cd/root, which you already are in. Make sure you're in sudo. So if you aren't already logged in to sudo, go sudo-I. I'm already in sudo, so root/site manager. Okay, then what we're going to be doing is python3 account.py. Username, let's check in Nathan, and let's just give myself a password. Okay, account created. So Nathan, and there we go. Dashboard, I probably should remove these, and also these links don't do anything. You know, other features might use those. Okay, so let's do a test site. What domain am I going to be using? I'm going to be using testbotbids1. That site. Okay, go down here, I need to use this IP address. So in namebase, chuck in an A record for @ and that IP address. Chuck in a TLSA for _443._TCP. That is needed. This section is needed because it basically says that this hash here is the true and trusted hash of the SSL certificate to be used for TCP or web traffic in port 443 or HTTPS. So once those are done, we'll save that. Okay, we need to add some content. It's easiest if you have a public GitHub repo. If you don't, you want to zip up your, let me go to files, what's it called? Dolphin. Just one sec. So if you don't have a public GitHub repo, or if you don't want it to be public, you can log in as root via SSH and add your keys and tell it to keep the keys, but that is a bit confusing. So what you can also do is the website that I've already zipped up. So basically get your website content, so index, and what I'm going to do is archive it as a zip. I'll delete this one over here so I don't accidentally use that, because knowing me I will. So what we do now is you just drag it here, and it should. Was being slow. Who knows? Let me just where did I put it? Things in Git, Nick template, templates, archive.zip. Yeah, there we go. It was just being slow. So sometimes drag and drop doesn't work very well. There we go. So we got our assets and our index. So to enable it, you just toggle enable, press save. It just takes a sec. Why is it taking so long? There we go. It should all be enabled. So now if you go to the testbot bits, it should have a website there. Check that out. And if we add HTTPS, HTTPS might take a little bit longer. Yeah, HTTPS isn't quite there yet, but it should be, unless I put a long TLSA. Let me just double check that. Is it the same? I think it is. Yep. So it's all. That's just my DNS my Dane resolver being a bit slow. So that's all good. We can also add an alternative domain. So if you have multiple domains that will have the same website content, that's what an alt domain is for. So for example, testbotbids 0001. So we'll go, yep, it has DNSSEC already enabled, so that's all nice. So you go add the domain, we will go and check this. Oh, that was a TLSA I copied, wasn't it? TLSA 443.cp, yep, underscore, cool. And what we might also do is do a star for the TLSA and do the same for the A record as well. So the IP is, so putting this star will let us use a subdomain such as www.testbotbids0001. Oh, what's it complaining about? Maybe, oh, there we go. Had an extra space at the end. So let's try that. Testbotbids1. Okay, so it has a welcome to Nginx page. If you see here, if you press save again, it will refresh the Nginx config. And if we now refresh this, there we go. We've got our site. Let's test it with www. I think it's loading. These images are not the fastest to load. I probably should put a slightly less, slightly smaller image, less resolution, so it loads a bit quicker. But there we go, www works. Does HTTP work yet? I think my resolver might still complain. Come on. We'll check that later. I'll just copy that so I don't lose it. And look at that. No, maybe. Just stop being so slow. Why is my internet always slow when I actually want to use it? Unless is my fingertip being slow maybe? Let me just check. Nope, it's all fine. Oh well. Okay, but the HTTPS should be working for you. It sometimes takes a little bit for it to propagate, but that is all fine. Let me just open Brave up again. We still got a cert error. I might just restart fingertip. Stop and start. Okay, give that a refresh. No. Oh well, sometimes it just takes a little bit for the SSL to be recognized. Okay, This also works for ICANN domains. Please add all the ICANN domains before you press save so that you only have to generate one SSL certificate from Let's Encrypt. If you do them all individually, sometimes you can run into Let's Encrypt their rate limits. So just be careful with that. You can add as many as you want. Well, you can add a lot of them, and if you press save, it'll then generate a certificate with them all in the one certificate, which makes the rate limits a lot easier to deal with. Okay, and I might just show you how to use Git while I'm here. So, do I have a Git repository? Yes, I do. GitHub. I'm looking for website. No, I think it's called Links. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. We're at Links website. So, grab the HTTPS. This is public. It needs to be public for this to work, unless you want to deal with all the key stuff, and that's a pain. So, git clone via HTTPS, and there we go. There's all of that. If we do any updates, just press pull, and we'll pull the updates. Let's have a look. Test bot bids 001. Come on, I don't want the cached website. I want the actual website. Ugh. Telling you, my internet is the slowest at the moment. Has it cached? No, it's just being super slow. I don't know why it's being so slow. Who knows? But that will have the Git website content once it finally loads. Oh, come on. That might be why. Let's give that a refresh. I think definitely my fingertip is playing up. I don't know why it always does this when I want to do something like recording. There we go, finally. Got a different header at least, but still so slow. But anyways, that's how you use Site Manager to do your website hosting. It isn't exactly the cheapest because you need to pay for a VPS, which it depends on where you go, but it's around $5, $5 US on the node. But if you go to HTTPS l.woodburn.au/linode. This keyboard is a pain. And that will give you a free $100 for a month, so you can test it out without having to pay. Also works just l.woodburn/linode. If my fingertip works, there we go, yes it does. So $300 credit for a month. You know, you can save, give it a test. Look, there we go, fingertip's working now. What? Who knows? But there we go. Have fun, and let me know if you have any problems.